guys, and welcome back to another episode of your Brains Coach podcast. My name is Shurina. I'm your host, I'm your Brains Coach, and just someone with a lot of passion, obsession, and curiosity for learning myself all the brain tools and then sharing with you all the brain tools you can use to feel, look, and do your absolute best. Of course, based on the recent research coming out from different corners of neuroscience, different corners of the world. And also there is a lot of interconnections between gut health, science field, and then nutrition, and then integrative health, and then psychology, and it all, combined with neuroscience creates really fascinating frameworks of thinking of our health, well-being, and life design. I think if I were to say what I'm really passionate about, besides nutrition for brain, neuroscience, and performance productivity, I think life design would be the thing. And by life design, I mean designing ourselves and our life experiences and ultimately our life journey and where we end up by realizing and thinking about raising our awareness of things that are important to us, and then creating environment and taking action for those results to actually manifest in our lives. It sounds like wishful thinking, or I'll just gonna want this life and I'm gonna get it. But it's not wishful thinking. Actions produce results. That's a fact. And when you choose those actions intentionally, backcasting from the future that you want to build into the now and the actions that are most likely to bring that future, you'll be surprised how close you can get to that future that you envision. So being crystal clear about what it is you want in all areas of your life, meaning are relationships important to you, and what kind of relationships, what kind of work you want to do, how do you want to serve the world and people, where do you want to live, what kind of income and lifestyle do you want to have, and then you backcast and you ask yourself, okay, if I want this, what I need to do on a daily basis starting now on, using what I have to get closer and closer and closer to that vision and desire. And hey guys, sometimes you might end up in a slightly different place, or your views can change, or you can not necessarily end up again exactly where you envisioned, but you're gonna end up a hell of a lot closer to that vision by taking those intentional actions every single day and reconnecting to the vision of your life that you want to live. And very often, that life that you want to live that is different from now will require you to take actions that are not your regular routine, and this will feel uncomfortable, and that's where a lot of people get stuck, because our brain has this bias. If it's difficult, then it must be wrong. No, it's difficult because you have to rearrange things and spend a little bit more energy and time on putting in together new routines and structures, and that's why it feels uncomfortable. But once you put it together and you do it many times, it will feel like your second skin again. And as a coach, because I've been in the industry and taken people through transformations so many times, and taken myself through this transformation in so many areas, and always working on some transformation, I know the feeling and I know how it works. And so for me, it's a totally normal thing to feel uncomfortable and keep going, because this is how it is. This is how change happens. But for a lot of people, folks, probably like a lot of you outside of the industry, it might not feel like the right thing to do, or like the normal thing, or something that you need to be experiencing quite regularly. I mean, change and discomfort. And you might think that it must be the wrong thing because it feels so much less comfortable compared to my old thing. But that's just how things are. When things are new, they will always feel uncomfortable. That being said, a little background, not background, a backdrop, a little context from my life. Yesterday, I was talking to a few entrepreneurs. I signed up as a mentor for a few accelerators and basically programs. If you don't know what accelerator is, incubator, accelerator, they have different names, different programs for entrepreneurs. So it's a setup where experts and mentors and business people with more experience help other entrepreneurs to start from the beginning very often and build their idea in a much more effective way. So I signed up as a mentor, and I can't say that I have a huge thing that I succeeded with, but I've been in the game of entrepreneurship my whole life. Basically, I worked in an office for someone else. Well, on and off, I took jobs as a bartender also. So probably, I don't know, maybe like a year of my life, but the rest of it, and I'm 35 right now, was entrepreneurship. And I had a couple of food businesses, and I had obviously my coaching business been an ongoing thing for the past 10 years. And I tried, basically food businesses. These are the ones that I tried: juice delivery, detox delivery, delivery of deluxe health and weight loss programs, meaning everything included, and workouts, and your health coaching, and your nutrition coaching, and even grocery shopping. So I tried that. I tried juice delivery company, chocolate making company, so a bunch of stuff that I tried. And even now in my coaching journey, only now I'm starting to understand how the business of building a multi-million-dollar coaching works and where you gotta start. And I have a lot of insights, and the entrepreneurs that I got to talk to yesterday, I'm going to get back to the point very soon. They were just at the beginning, very young guys and girls, and they have this idea, a lot of them in tech, and I also have an IT degree and IT and economics. And so I am quite a few years ahead of them. And the thing that you want to understand, guys, you are an expert compared to somebody else on the same journey, but a couple of years behind. And so when they started sharing with me their ideas they were so excited about, it was so clear to me where I was. And they were talking about their ideas so passionately, but very often there was no understanding or no clarity about what kind of problem they are solving, who they're solving this problem for. And in the cases that I went through during this mentoring session, guys haven't really talked to their target audience or people they want to help, right? They just have this idea, or like, oh, I have this technology I want to develop. And they would start talking to me about the technology, and I would tell them right away, well, imagine I'm this restaurant owner that you want to work with, and I'm not a technology person. I just have this problem in my business and I need it to be solved. And I don't really care about the technology. That's why I'm in a restaurant business, not in a technology business. And so you got to talk to me in a third, fourth grade language, so I understand it very fast, what kind of problem and how exactly you can solve my problem. I don't care about the technology. I don't care about the blockchain and QR codes. I don't really care, right? I need my establishment to be filled in with customers, and I need it to be regular. So things like that. And then I thought to myself, and guys, that's why teaching others is so important. You very often discover something about the thing you are going through, you are struggling with. And I thought to myself, that's why I'm struggling with my business right now. I still can't understand whose problem exactly I'm solving. And I've talked to a bunch of people, and I have my coaching clients. But to build something bigger, to scale, I truly need to understand what's the right group of people who has the problem that I uniquely can solve, and I need to figure out as soon as possible, and nobody else can figure it out for me. because I'm the person who wants to build this business, right? I have the knowledge about my experience and my passions and my unique abilities. And so I realized while talking to these girls and guys about that they need to be very clear about the problem they are solving and for whom they are solving, and they need to communicate that solution in a very simple way to the person that they want to work with, and maybe they end up solving a completely different problem that they haven't even thought about. But the point was, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, your life, what you do is all about solving other people's problems. And that's actually what's going to make you feel really good when you can help a lot of people with what you love. But understand, it's also talking to myself, that people do not care about how you solve this problem. They just care about the problem that they need to be solved. And that's what you need to sell and communicate, not your technology behind that. So the takeaway, guys, talk to people. If you are in entrepreneurship, talk to the person who might be the person you want to solve problems for, and talk about their problems. Try to figure out what kind of problems they have and what would be the ideal solution. Try to talk to as many people as possible and be very flexible about your approach, because again, at the end of the day, you are in the business of solving other people's problems, not creating your passion that nobody wants. And from that also, guys and girls, they shared with me, well, we're not exactly, we don't feel yet that comfortable talking to people. And that's the thing, guys. You also need to get over this and be in control of your emotions and start taking things personally. If somebody doesn't like your solution, they are not saying, I don't like you, and don't be emotional about your solution and about technology. That's where also emotional regulation really helps. When somebody tells you, I don't like your solution, I think it sucks. Well, from their perspective, they might be right. They're not looking for this thing, and they don't even understand the things. That might be also the issue. You might not have explained it very clearly. But when those emotions, uncomfortable emotions come up, you need to deal with them, and not in a way like a baby, or whatever, you suck. That dealing with it like a baby. You need to sit with that uncomfortable emotion, deal with that, and then go past it and actually think about what other person is saying without the emotions. Is there truth to what they're saying? And there is a saying, the customer is always right. And that is the right saying in a sense that they know their problem. You don't know their problem well enough. The same, like, you don't understand what exactly in the person's head and their business and their life. And back to uncomfortable emotions, guys. I'm going to give you 3 tools today to deal with those uncomfortable emotions. Not tools, but exercises you need to start performing regularly if you want to master your emotions, if you want to stay in the game of entrepreneurship, or at some point you want to develop your gig, or you want to progress in a bigger way in your relationships, your personal life. You need to be able to control your emotions instead of your emotions controlling you. Now, by controlling your emotions, we don't mean you say no to your emotions and you become an unemotional robot. That's not going to happen, first of all. And second of all, that's going to make you miserable. No, you need to feel your emotions, understand what they mean, and act not because of those emotions, but you need to take into account what your body might be telling you through emotion, what your brain might be telling you, but then logically think about it. Does it make sense? And then make a decision long term. Now let's jump to the exercises, and everything going to be a little bit more clear. So when the emotion comes up, it's a feedback mechanism from your body, from your brain, that something in the environment either to be approached or to be avoided. Emotions are, they have a whole range, sadness, happiness, and boredom, and anger, and anxiety. Like, there is a whole range of them. But the basically 2 kinds, positive, negative, approach, avoid. That's it. And that's what Tony Robbins has been talking for a long time. And all the elite coaches would tell you the same thing, psychology, etc. 2 emotions, positive, negative, avoid, or approach. That's it. So once you understand that, there are 3 exercises that will help you to develop a muscle of becoming a long-term thinker and not being controlled by your emotions, and instead making solutions that are a mix of emotional information and logical explanation or thinking. So when 3 exercises, let's get to the exercises. Number 1, when you feel a desire to do something, let's say you are doing some online research and you saw this advertising on Amazon and there is this thing, let's say, I don't know, it's a book, like I buy a lot of books. That's why I'm going to talk about a book. And there is a book and you're like, oh, I gotta read it, right? And you have this desire, urge to buy, to approach. So exercise number 1, say no to your desire. That's the name of the exercise. Say no to your desire. When you feel the desire, say no. I'm not saying no forever, but I usually give myself 3 days. Say no to your desire now, and in 3 days, if your mind still thinks, well, that was the good thing, it actually would be a great addition to your self-education. So you want to kind of detach yourself from your emotion, from your emotional desire, and you do that by time. They have this saying, time heals. Well, what it means is time makes emotions less. They make them go away. You are not emotionally driven when you allow the time between the emotion felt and the action. The action will not be emotionally driven because the emotions are not long lasting. They will subside, they will almost disappear, and the decision that you're gonna make, you'll be thinking, oh my God, what I was thinking at that time, right? So very often what would happen, I see this advertising of this book or something and I don't buy it. What I do is like, in 3-4 days, I have a bunch of books that I wanted to read also. Let's see how I feel. Is it really that urgent, or I'd rather read the books that I actually planned? You see where I'm going with this? So this is the first exercise to get control of your emotions and start making decisions not driven by your emotions only, even though sometimes it might be a good thing. In urgent situations, sometimes your emotions will give you a powerful signal what to do exactly. But in most situations in life, you first got to develop a skill of detaching yourself from your emotion. And by detaching, we mean time and space. So I have this logical rule. Okay, I see something advertised. I give myself 3 days. If in 3 days I still want this thing and I think this thing is important and it makes sense to budget for this thing, I'm gonna get it. So say no to your desire. The same goes for food. If you like eating ice cream is not going anywhere. There is a lot of ice cream everywhere. So say no to it now, and say, well, if I still want it tomorrow, by the way, that's how I completely stopped my late night munches. I just created a rule for myself. I can eat anything I want, ice cream, cookies, whatever that is, but only the next day after my desire. And I never wanted it the next day. The next day I wake up and I'm like, what was I thinking? I have my fitness goals, etc. I don't even know. I didn't even want that cookie that much. I'm so glad I didn't did it. So say no to your desire. That's practice number 1. Start doing it. Maybe take a week for practicing each of these 3 exercises that I'm going to give you, right? So say no to your desire, number 1, and create a rule, a rule in advance. Like for me, again, buying stuff from Amazon or from any other store, like this urge, 3 days. If I still want it, if I still need it, I'm going to go and get it. For food, it was a rule. Now it just, I don't even have this desire anymore. For food, I had, okay, I can have this ice cream, this cookie, whatever that is, but not right now, the next day. And that day, actually, guys, never happened, like never, not a single time. And just then my logical mind, well, that was a stupid thing to want. The practice number 2, do the thing you don't want to do, or do the uncomfortable, or dive into the discomfort. Maybe dive into the discomfort is a better name. So dive into the discomfort. What it means is, okay, there is a thought that coming up. I need to do this. I need to do X right now, but I don't want to do it. Right? You have this like discomfort. You don't want to do it. Jump right into it. Do it right now. When the discomfort comes up, you have a thought, I need to do it, but I don't wanna, it sucks, it's uncomfortable. Do it right now. Do something about it. If you can't do the whole thing, maybe you're like, I need to have a conversation with this person. Okay, and you're uncomfortable. What you do, you send them a text, you send them an email right then and there. You call them. If there is a possibility, the bolder the action, the in a more powerful way, it's going to destroy this discomfort, and you're going to have such an energy release and the feeling of power. You'll be surprised how amazing it works when you jump into your discomfort instead of avoiding that. So this is the second practice. Jump into the discomfort. Yeah, that's even better name. So jump into the discomfort. Again, maybe take a week and practice then. When the thought comes up, you need to do this and you know you need to do this, do it right then and there. Jump into the discomfort. So the second practice. Practice number 3 is do nothing. What it means is when you feel emotion, positive, negative, again, there are only 2 kinds of emotions, approach, avoid. When you feel any of those and you feel the urge to either avoid something, move away from it, or approach something, that can be food, that can be behavior, that can be person, or you sit and you're like, oh, I'm bored, I'm gonna start playing video games, or I'm gonna go and watch Netflix, or I'm gonna call this person because I'm lonely even though I know this person doesn't work for me. Something else. Avoid, approach any emotion. Practice doing nothing. Like literally sit down. And I also like to create a rule so you don't fool yourself. Always have some objective measure. As a coach, I always help my clients to be more objective, not subjective. So how I did it for myself, and I do it with a lot of my clients, I'm like, okay, this do nothing practice, you're going to set a timer for 5 minutes and you're going to do nothing, literally nothing. You're just going to sit and do nothing. And it's going to be uncomfortable, especially the first time. You're like, well, I got to do it now, something. No, you actually don't have to. Your emotion wants you to believe that you have to do something. But 5 minutes, nothing will change in 5 minutes. You will train the muscle, though, of being in control of your urges and emotions. So do nothing. Just sit and stare into the ceiling or a wall in front of you. Literally do nothing. And what you'll find is, especially if you pay more attention, is that emotion, first, it's going to feel strong, but then it's going to be weaker and weaker and weaker. And then all of a sudden, your logical mind will start to bubble up to the surface, and you'll think, well, that was kind of a stupid idea. What was I thinking? And a better decision actually is X. And you'll be able to make a much better decision. That's why we're practicing this do nothing. You allow the emotion to just subside, and then your logical mind, because it's actually weaker than our emotional drive, you will allow, by weakening your emotion, your logical mind to take over and make a better decision. And these are 3 practices that I would recommend. Take 3 weeks. Week number 1, you practice say no to your desire. Week number 2, you practice jump into the discomfort. And you of course, might do them in any different order, or maybe today you do this, tomorrow you do this, next day you do this, might be that. That can be fun also. The third one is do nothing. So say no to your desires, jump into the discomfort, and do nothing. And do that for the next 3 weeks. Again, maybe one day you do say no to your desire. Day 2, you do jump into the discomfort. Day 3, you do nothing. And again, have some objective rules, like for saying no to your desire. Okay, so you don't miss out on all of your desires. Maybe you set again a date, maybe in a day, 2 or 3. That's when you can make the decision about the thing. For doing nothing, like set a timer for 5 minutes and just do nothing. For jumping into the discomfort, you got to do something right now when the thought of discomforting action comes up. And you practice this for 3 weeks. And at the end of this 3 weeks, you'll be surprised how many things will change in your life and how many more better decisions that you are proud of, you'll actually make in your personal life, in your business, in your health and fitness journey. Believe me, guys, this is a golden skill. Any business owner, entrepreneur needs to have it. Any person into personal development needs to have it. You'll have to make choices, not with your emotions, but by marrying your emotions with your logical mind. And the only way to do so is to stop acting on your emotions when they come up, and start feeling that your emotions are actually like waves that you surf. Or not. You let them pass. You just watch them. There is another one. There is another one. But keep doing what you were doing, not paying attention to those waves. It's like weather. Just because it rains, you don't usually cancel all of your plans. Or just because it's sunshine, you also don't usually cancel your work and just go on sunbase. Emotions are like that too. It's sun. It rained. Keep going. So these 3 practices: say no to your desires, do nothing, and jump into the discomfort, will help you to be that kind of person, to develop that kind of muscle, and that will improve your life and business and all of your pursuits, your health, in as short as 3 weeks. But even in the first 3 days, if you take a day for each practice, you'll be surprised. But just learn also to catch this moment when you feel that, like desire, or this discomforting thought, or when you just feel emotional urge to avoid or to approach. And that's it, guys. Let me know what you think about these tools and how you put them into practice. Also, maybe find a friend, partner, a family member to practice it with. They don't have to be in one physical space with you. For accountability, you can be at a distance, just, WhatsApping each other, calling each other. When you pair up with someone and do the same practice, you have a lot more accountability to yourself and to that other person. And also you can reflect to each other, okay, this is what I did. This is what happened, right? And then you feel so empowered to continue to keep going and to see where else it can lead you. So pair up with people around you, do these practices. Also give me feedback, what you think about these practices, how they transformed your life. I would really love to hear from you. And that's it, guys. Next time, we're gonna hear each other on Monday. We're going to talk about remote work and quite a few hacks that I've developed over the course of past, 15 years of me traveling around the world, living remote and working remotely. Hacks for nutrition, for movement, for building relationships, for managing your energy levels, a lot of different things put in a short, concise format. So stay tuned for that on Monday. And today is Friday. Maybe it's a good time to start these practices. Maybe today is saying no to your desires. Tomorrow is about jumping into the discomfort. On Sunday is do nothing. So practice. Give me feedback, and I'm looking forward to seeing where you'll end up with developing the skills of emotional regulation. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening. I'm gonna let you go, jump into your weekend with your emotional regulation skills. I'd love to hear from you, and guys, till next time, work on these skills and do better every day.